champ is here. The 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 champ is here.
Welcome to State Champions Podcast, where it's always a celebration. I know what you're thinking. I know what you see. That is definitely the view of the Las Vegas Strip. You know what we do on State Champions Podcast? We discuss people, politics, community, and culture. And what would a podcast be with two great friends without us discussing sports? I'm your co-captain, Raphael, and my co-captain, George T. Ward. He not here live in Vegas with me, but he at the crib. He's on the set. We piped him in. This is what we do. We took State Champions Podcast on the road. And what better weekend than this weekend to have a podcast on, the NBA. Second weekend of July is always a great weekend, not only because it's my birthday, G, but because you have that NBA Summer League. And, of course, it's hot out here. It's looking outstanding. The weather is great. It's probably about 105, 108.
Yeah.
But it's going down, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. Work, duty calls, man. You got a thing going. Happy born day to you and all that good stuff, man. But, wish I was – I guess I wish I was looking at some of that sun, but you do know I wasn't really trying to feel all that heat, man, but – look like it's a great time out there, man. And I know y'all out there checking out some of the Summer League action and doing your annual trek to the LV for your B-Day weekend. How you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm feeling outstanding good, brother. When I can sit on this balcony, look at the mountains out to my left, look down to the right, you see nothing but buildings, beautiful buildings in this Las Vegas Boulevard, the whole entire strip. Of course, there's not that many people walking down the strip because it's too hot. But for me, I enjoy it. I enjoy being out here. I tell people, if you don't come out to Vegas, you're missing life because it's always something to do. And so that's why it's always a celebration for me. And that's what the hashtag come from, State Champions Podcast. Where it's always a celebration, baby. You know what I mean? So what else going? What else you got going on, G?
Man, ain't nothing to it, man. Summer League is, in July. It's different from when we were playing, man. Summer League is really June for the high school teams. You still have, DC is doing his thing still over at Groves, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'll have the playoffs going for, all the teams that's playing in that. But for the most part, it's AAU time. So it gives a lot of the high school coaches the opportunity to just kind of, well, I don't really want to say that, but it should give coaches the opportunity to get some rest, but also develop their players, and get ready for cross-country season. As we look at the strip, man, what a beautiful view right there. But other than that, and recalibrate myself for the upcoming school year, obviously, got some things going personally that are going pretty well. So just trying to fine-tune some things, man, and get G off to school. He'll be gone again in about another month. Layla will be 16 in a minute. So, and the grandkids getting older. So it's been a blessing, man. I don't have any complaints right now whatsoever.
Oh, man, I know you don't. Hey, it's good. You mentioned G. Obviously he's out here. I ran into him last night downstairs at the Cosmo. So it was great to see him. Obviously his mom. But the most surprising thing to me was I got a surprise. And sure enough, my son, Jordan Peterson, he came out and surprised me. And Lisa, I couldn't believe that she kept it from me all this time. And
I'm surprised. She must didn't find out till 15 minutes before landing.
No, she knew a day before, and she was a nervous wreck, going crazy, acting all crazy. I'm like, what's going on? I can't concentrate. But anyway, they surprised me, man. That was good that they surprised me. I sure appreciated that, man. But you know what we doing. We out here, Las Vegas, doing our thing. hanging out, just enjoying life. And we got my man G back on the screen. But hey, but it's summer league and the NBA, and obviously with NBA, we talking about the up and coming stars, but the NBA tradition could not be talked about from the city of Detroit if we didn't talk about some of the other guys. You're talking about obviously the Chris Webbers of the world, the Jalen Roses, the Steve Smiths, the Big Alexander, Carlos Rogers. You're talking about so many different guys, and of course, you're talking about Howard Isley, Boshawn Leonard.
Yeah, and then the younger generation, man.
This is for sure.
Yeah,
and,
Chris Doug Roberts, man.
Yeah,
all
him.
These guys.
Then you had who else we had? We had a lot of different guys, and of course, DC. Those were the guys that paved the way for a lot of our guys and the people that we know. And now we're on to the set, and where you have a situation where you have the number 7 pick, obviously A-Cup Jr. You know what I mean?
A-Cup Jr.
A-Cup Jr. And so
doing his thing too.
Playing very, very, very well. And of course, there's guys that we forget about that people don't talk about is a guy named Jaden Hardy. Well, his dad went to Cooley for a minute, finished up at a Southfield High, and they out here this summer, and he's just got traded to the Lakers, which is a great thing for him. They back out on the West Coast. Outstanding for them. But G, I want to talk about this because with this NBA going on, with all the activity they have, I think this is kind of been overshadowed.
Smoke screen.
It's been overshadowed, this Jaylen Brown situation. And I'm not sure people really remember the situation with Jaylen Brown, just the history of him. One, Jaylen Brown, when he was first drafted, they said Jaylen Brown was too smart.
Say that again. I need you to say that one more time.
They said Jaylen Brown was too smart. I'm not so sure that should ever be a statement because nobody can be too smart. And I thought that's what, we should strive to be, very, very smart. But I guess this goes back to the statement of shut up and just dribble the ball. But Jaylen Brown was one of those guys who very, very intelligent brother, went to Cal, and his acumen to get there, he had to be very intelligent. But on top of that, this is another thing, he doesn't have a sports agent. And by him not having a sports agent, G, there's some issues here that's really underlining the whole trade. Because, and let me just give the people some background on this.
Yeah, they got to know what's happening.
You telling me Jaylen Brown, finals MVP, won an actual championship with the Celtics.
Yep.
He was the guy doing a lot of great things.
Absolutely.
And you telling me you're going to trade him off and put your weight of the franchise on Jason Tatum, who's coming off an Achilles injury. I'm not so sure this was just really about a basketball move, G. I really believe this is more in depth. This is more personal. And this is really like a slap in the face to what our young black men should strive to be, not just an athlete, just an intelligent young black man. And so this is why the show is titled America's Worst Nightmare. And so when you think about that, G, it is so unbelievable, man. And I see those things. I'm like, it's incredible for them to even insinuate that he can't be a smart guy and keep everything going. I just don't get it. I'm not so sure that everybody sees the bigger picture, but I'm with it at this point, G. This is wrong, and it's probably more so this personal aspect towards Jaylen Brown, and it's not really healthy for any of our young men who's coming up and doing it the right way.
Well, Ralph, I want you to think about this. There's a lot of layers to this, man. Number one, obviously, Jaylen Brown is from the neighborhood. And him being a neighborhood kid, striving academically, just has done a great job for himself. His standardized test scores are off the charts. Been well documented. But I think what we can't ignore the fact that he's playing for the Boston. He did play for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
I need this to really, really be thought about. And, you and I have had the privilege of being out in Boston before. for a professional venue and a professional activity. But here we are. We're talking about a town that is known, very well known for its racism. And here, I think here's the part that's really less talked about is the fact that the Boston Celtics organization is very well known for being racist itself. So here we are, Jaylen Brown, too smart. And you said they said too smart. We heard the critics
Too smart.
heard the critics say that he was too smart. And I find that amazing because whenever guys we talk about the draft and when you talk about the European counterparts, I don't care what sport it is, they rave about sometimes how smart that young person is.
Yeah.
So now we move forward. Jaylen Brown has been, I don't even like to say outspoken. Jaylen Brown has been willing to illuminate a lot of the things that's been going on within the league, within the community, within the world, and attached itself to the Black community of Boston and the underprivileged. For them to, for them in the height of his career, to be traded and to hear very little from the media says an awful lot. Number one, they're not surprised. Number two, I think they've been given a gag order, so to speak. So as we're watching this thing, Ralph, the one thing that we have to do is, as we're doing today, we got to talk about it. And we can no longer continue to allow, us to be called, when Black men are extremely intelligent and willing to speak facts, oftentimes they're considered arrogant, even from within our own people. And we hear this all the time. So now Jaylen Brown has been considered almost a troublemaker. Never been suspended for bad activity, doesn't have legal problems or anything like that. We're talking about a gentleman who's done everything right for the most part. Obviously can't do everything right, but has done a great job as a professional, conducted himself as a professional. And what people don't talk about is he was the president of the Players Association. So now he gets traded, and what they received for him, I just really believe to trade him to your opponent, your rival, one of your rivals in the Philadelphia 76ers, says in your mind, you just had to get rid of him regardless of where he had to go, and we'll deal with the consequences later. That says a lot about them.
Oh, no two ways about that, G. I'm glad you went about that history of Boston, and just thinking about Boston in itself. It's still that same old racist town. And to your point, a guy like Jaylen Brown, who has attached himself to those young people in the Roxbury communities, the East Bostons of the town, just attaching himself and being what we would think America would want to see with with Black men, period. Really? And we ain't just talking about in sports. We're talking about totally as the total person. And Jaylen Brown exudes that. And then you start to shun him. And then you have all of these pundits coming out and they're attacking him left and right. And Jaylen Brown this. They don't like his attitude. He got all of these issues that they're trying to create that's not there. And you want to continue to bash the young brother, and he's doing well. I just don't get it. And I would say this on record. I am not personally a Jaylen Brown fan in terms of his game. I like him, but I just felt that sitting here out in Las Vegas, doing what we doing, the NBA Summer League being out here, and I just ran across the story again. I was like, they're brushing this under the rug, and I'm trying to figure out why. And this young brother, well, we know why, but it's really should be, it's appalling, to be honest.
Extremely.
And so it's just unfortunate for young Black men in this country who's doing the right thing. Of course, what they're going to do for us, now they're going to take Jaylen Brown and put him to the side. But every single day, you're going to see the team takeovers. You're going to see the shootings.
Yeah, you're going to see that.
The violence on the Carnival cruises. You're going to see all those things, but you won't talk about Jaylen Brown and the things that he's doing the right way for the people where he was at in Boston. Now, I'm sure because Jaylen is who he is, he's going to be able to do the same things in Philly. But we just wanted to shed some light onto what's going on in terms of the situation with Jaylen Brown and his contract. Well, his contract is what it is, but you trade him, and that's a whole nother thing. He doesn't have an agent.
Ralph,
He doesn't have an agent.
He don't have an agent.
So he made some comments, and I think I want to share something, and so the people can get a great understanding. Share the screen so we can get a great understanding of what's really going on, and check out this clip from the Pivot podcast.
Yep.
And they do a great job over there.
Oh, no doubt about it.
A 19-year-old young man is coming out of Cal, the level of intelligence it takes to go to that school, and he's being called too smart. There's a little bit of coded language in that. We used to be a country, a society that valued intelligence and
let's pause it right there.
Yes.
you heard what Ryan Clark said.
Yep.
Hey, listen, you're too smart, as we spoke about. And I thought it was some value in that. So what are they saying to all the athletes coming up behind them?
Ralph,
what are you saying to that? You too smart.
You
just
smart.
Get enough. We want you to just get to a place and then just kind of stay back and stay down. But I'm gonna finish playing this so we can address this.
leadership.
Yep.
I don't know when or why that changed when it came to Jaylen. And sometimes it's like what that intelligence is attached to. With him, it's attached to awareness and consciousness and activism and ownership and culture and community and growth. Not unlike Russell Westbrook or a Chris Paul or a LeBron James, but they grew into those things as they became faces of the league. He seemed to have like already been that, right? And then it's like, is that intelligence collaborative or is it combative? But you've never called someone or said it's about someone they think they're the smartest person in the room if you think they're an idiot. Ever. You just call them an idiot. So there is an understanding that he has this level of intelligence. And what happens a lot of times too, though, if you know something has happened that doesn't make sense, now you got to spin a different narrative.
Yep.
Bingo.
Yep. Well, Raph, I want you to think about this though.
Uh-huh.
When have you ever heard? I want you to think about this. You 56 and about 40 some odd hours.
Mm-hmm.
When have you ever heard anybody refer to a person of European descent as too smart?
Never.
Particularly an athlete. And I think what's even more amazing is the fans of Boston. There was a small pocket of the fans of Boston who were upset. But the media is not outraged. Nobody is outraged. The city of Boston almost clapped their hands and said, thank you. But see, I understand and you understand. This is the same Boston Celtics franchise. This is the same city that Bill Russell, who they can say whatever they want to say, and Larry Bird was amazing, don't get me wrong. Bill Russell is, at least was considered for a long time, the greatest Celtic ever. And they defecated on his bed. They broke into his home during the course of the game a couple times and used the bathroom on his bed. So what I do know is this is not that far removed, and the people of Boston really showed themselves because not only that, Jason Tatum was hurt this year. Obviously, he came back towards the end of the year. Boston overachieved like never before. They even overachieved to the point where Mazzulla was even considered to be coach of the year. Now,
Yes, sir.
Jaylen Brown spearheaded all of that.
Yes, sir.
After Jason Tatum was hurt. And you mean to tell me immediately following that year, he's traded? If this doesn't have a racial undertone, if this doesn't have we tired of this uppity Negro written all over it, then we're foolish ourselves, and then we won't believe anything that Jack puts in front of us.
Ain't no question. Hey, our homeboy EP said it because he's a leader in everything and not a follower, too strong and too proud.
Absolutely.
Hey, EK, we also got another young Carlos Flowers on. He say the legends of the game love y'all, big bros. Oh man, we appreciate you, boy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna know why we sitting here now, G. Since me and you talking, and we sitting here, and I'm out here in the LV checking out the great sites and everything. Next year, EP, Carlos, get ready. Cooley weekend. We'll be back in the building because we're gonna do the AG. It's time for the reunion, ain't it? What year would it be?
You know it.
The 40th year. Wouldn't it be 40? Let me make sure my math is correct.
Man, all you gotta do is on the 8, man. 8. 2 more years. 8.
No. Because you got to think. You got to think we won in 87.
Oh, you talking about 87. Next year it'll be 40. Absolutely.
Hey, come on. That's what I see everybody. My man up here trying to correct
you was
me
talking about our graduation. I thought you was talking about our graduation.
I'm talking about we're gonna do an actual reunion. 1987 state championship team. We're gonna honor Coach Kelso. It's gonna be done during Cooley weekend. I just wanted to put that out there because somebody then called me and asked me about this 5 or 6 times. But anyway, G, going back to Jaylen Brown and everything that he's doing, it's amazing. But the people, the media, and the people, the pundits that get on him, it's crazy. And it's an attack that is unbelievable. And I'm not appreciative of what's going on. I just think that somebody should say something. And this is why we decided to do this show about Jaylen Brown and this treatment that he's receiving as a young black man that's doing well, not in trouble, as you said, G, just doing the right thing. But they seem to be trying to vilify him and make him the bad guy because he's intelligent. It's just too much, man. It's just too much.
I think, Ralph, a couple years ago, we did a show on the buck breaking.
Yep.
Of Kyrie Irving.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want you to, I really want everyone to think about this. I want you to think about when LeBron said, he said several things about different situations and been very vocal on certain situations. And a white woman said on national news, said that he should shut up and dribble. So I think what I do know is we've fallen into that trap, and it goes into the series that we've done, and we're kind of in the middle of our series. Has the black family vanished? And when I'm looking at it, this is another form of buck breaking, and it's almost as if, and I really don't want to disrespect our forefathers, but this is kind of another form of them standing the big black man in front of everybody, stripping him down and whooping him.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody can see it, so they'll know what they're not to do. And as you alluded to earlier, what does this say to our young black boy? What does this say to your unborn grandchildren? What does this say to my grandson, my 17-year-old grandson, TJ? Man, you know what? Maybe if I have a thought about something, maybe I should just keep it to myself, because not only is it not going to be received well, I won't be received well either, because as a black man, I'm supposed to be quiet. And I think the trickiest part about this, Ralph, is this.
Okay.
Is, again, as I alluded to, if it were a white man, he would be just celebrated. He would be a hero. Also, if Jaylen Brown were a black woman, you think about how she, if that were the instance, would be received. I just think this is symbolism at its finest, and I applaud Jaylen Brown for doing what he's doing. And I applaud you for coming up with the idea for us to do emergency show on this Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening for me, because this is unbelievable what is taking place. And they're doing it in plain sight right in front of our face, and acting, and they throwing rocks and hiding their hands and acting like this ain't happening.
Oh, no doubt about it, G. And this is absolutely, y'all get it right. What y'all see on the screen is definitely live from Las Vegas Strip.
Look at the mountains.
Enjoying life. Oh, look at the mountains back there. I don't think everybody see that. That's that famous guitar. And that guitar is ding, 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 ding. That's that boy. They building a new hotel down there. So, but anyway, I'm glad y'all tuning in live from Las Vegas State Champions Podcast. Make sure y'all get in the comments. We see a few comments. What up, Brother Damon Pitts? What up, though, Wayne Perry? We see you out there too. But G, I want to say this. I definitely want to say this and talk about this from the lens of this. A person like Jaylen Brown should be held to the highest standard. We should be praising him and saying, hey, this is our guy. He's doing well. But so what they do for us as a community. So you mentioned earlier, no media coverage. Nobody's really talking. You just made the point about if this was a black woman and somebody attacked her for her smarts, it would have been a war in the streets. But let's think about
the AKAs, the Shake A's, and the Deltas would have went nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but what they do, they would rather show the actual violence. They would rather show the team.
John Morant.
They would rather show a John Morant. But so this is what media does to black men. And I want you to hear me and hear me clearly, G. See, here's an agenda that is taking place before our eyes. And that agenda simply is they will take the absolute least producing part of the culture and give it the maximum exposure. They will take the least part.
Say it again.
The least part of the culture and give it the maximum exposure. And what happens when you do that, a guy like you, me, Jaleel, everybody, all the brothers that's doing great, they will not be able to separate the two. We're all looked at and viewed as one and the same as the people that they show, instead of looking at maybe there's a lot more Jaylen Browns in the black community than they are the ones who are team takeovers, jumping over counters at the Popeyes and all these places.
Absolutely.
So for me, G, I just think that we have to do a better job in doing what we're doing on State Champions Podcast and uplifting the brothers when they're doing well, so we can always show and create our own narrative. If we don't create our narrative, brother, they're going to basically hang us and put us out to dry. And you know that's what they're trying to do.
Well, that's what they're doing now. But Ralph, when it took place, as a matter of fact, when it was even suggested that they were going to trade, or they were even thinking of trading Jaylen Brown, I'm thinking to myself, man, that you only trade your best player after recently winning an NBA championship. You only trade him when you say, you know what, the next few years is a wash. We're going with a youth movement. You know what? We know we can't afford to pay him what he's worth, and we're going to get something for him now while he has some marketability.
Yeah.
Well, I can give this to you in layman's terms because this is something that you can relate to. When the Celtics were winning again in the mid to late 80s, their best players, we know, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Dennis Johnson, so on and so forth. I want you to think of what the media would have said if Danny Ainge, I wasn't going to say Bird or McHale.
Yeah.
If they traded Danny Ainge, who averaged about 11 or 12.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what the media would have said. I wonder what the fans' reaction would have been. And obviously their reaction, it wouldn't have been positive, but it wouldn't have been rooted in productivity because Jaylen Brown, averaging 25, 27 points a game, was one of the MVP candidates this year. No injury. No injury. No legal battles this year. Didn't fight the coach. Ain't did none of that.
None of those things.
And you trade him, and what he's talked about is, and is accurate, is the lack of respect that he has been shown by management and the entire organization. I think this is one of the worst things I've seen. And I think we as Black people should be outraged because this is not about his talent. This isn't about his effectiveness to lead a team and do what he's supposed to do as a professional. This has everything to do with him being an uppity Negro, and they had to get rid of him.
Wow, this is I think you hit the nail on the head, G, by saying everything in the way you articulated that. It's exceptional because if they really look at it, I got another view. How come the NBA hasn't said anything? And I mean, how come they haven't said anything? And I guess this goes back to when you start looking at everything that Jaylen talks about, from the agents, to your point, to the Players Association, which he's a part of, to those agents who were pretty much bloodsuckers. And I think he said it best. He said it this way: if I'm 18, 19 years old, and once I retire, he said, according to him, 50% of all NBA players lose majority of their wealth after the first 5 years of
Absolutely.
retirement.
Yep.
And he said, if you can't help me maintain or grow my money, why should I have you around me? And so
Yes.
for him, he said, I don't need an agent. And because he started to look at all the things. And this is where everything is going awry, because he is challenging the system. He's doing it the right way, and he's squeaky clean, but they still want to defame him. They still want to put dirt on his name. They still want to make him look less than, and he's one of our better guys in the community that's doing the right thing. But like you said, G, they would prefer to put somebody else up front that are doing the negative things, maybe acting out, maybe carrying the guns or whatever it may be, and they would rather vilify a guy who's doing great. So where would a young guy, what do you tell a young guy
Great question.
involved with sports in this era, and he's watching this narrative that comes out of the TV? Why would he want to strive to be smart or do well?
Well, Ralph, I need you to look at this too. I need you to think of this, man. I think for us, as I'm looking at this, it's really, he's too good to get rid of from the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you look at it. We haven't heard anything from Jaden Ivey in a while.
Yep. Oh man.
Hey, Ralph, you just said, "Oh man," and I know you. I've been knowing you 40 years plus. You said, "Oh man," or like almost, damn, I forgot about him almost.
Mm-hmm.
Mission accomplished, right? So
mission accomplished.
So they've gotten rid of a kid that was a lottery pick a couple years ago for what he said a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was struggling with injuries, some mental health things and all that. So he's expendable now. You can get rid of him and nobody will notice. Well, Craig Hodges, hell of a shooter, no social media. He was still a reserve. We can get rid of him. Nobody will notice. If Jaylen Brown was a 7th or 8th man on the team,
yes, sir,
Ralph, he damn near would be out the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the scary part for us is, at what point do we say to the NBA, the NFL, at what point do we say, you know what, enough is enough? And I think the easiest way to battle this, I really do, is we got to continue to produce more Jaylen Browns, more Jordan Petersons. I think, as I'm looking at it, Ralph, I think we cannot give them so many options. You know, when you look at it, there are so many of these young men. I think one of the things that was dynamic about this year's draft, and you and I talked about it, is those first 10 picks. Those first 10 picks walked out. They out there with their old dudes. Their mama's there. The daddy right there, though.
Yes,
so
sir.
The narrative is changing. And for whatever reason, what I do know,
they want to keep that narrative to be where it's at.
Come on, man. Come on.
I want to read this comment, man. G, this is from brother Reggie Carter. He said, look at what they did to Paul Robeson, who was an athlete, celebrated athlete, and much more was
vilified.
I couldn't listen. My eyes. Virtually erased.
vilified and virtually erased from history.
Okay.
Worse yet, the white establishment manipulated Jackie Robinson to criticize Robeson's stance against black fighting in the nation's wars. See Ali. It should be noted that Robinson regretted his comments. So what occurred on that, and Reggie Carter, Ralph, you know, he grew up in the era with our fathers and our mamas in that era, but more specifically, he grew up with my father.
Mm-hmm.
So Reg is a hell of a virtual member of the Ward family. So it's crazy that people talk about that, but it's really whispered because people don't like to talk about the fact that, you know, Jackie Robinson said some things about, you know, Paul Robeson being an activist, and a lot of black people did. And again, and he also criticized Joe Louis, but that's another thing too, though. So I think it was a reason why it's a reason why those type of individuals are put up on a pedestal and brought out for our people, because they're very less harmful.
Yes, sir.
And Jaylen Brown, he's harmful. He's going to say something that he shouldn't say against the establishment. And you Negroes better understand that you're not here for that. You're supposed to just shut up and dribble. And that's where we at.
America's worst nightmare, for sure. And so I guess I want to, because we have a few comments in the box. And Lisa B says, meanwhile, in the other industry, NDRE is catching heck for not supporting the scamming culture that they are using Young Miami to promote. Again, this is part of this agenda. And if we don't look at these things and say, wait a minute, we must control our narrative, this tells you right there, everybody is celebrating Young Miami, where all my scamming, you know the song. It's the #1 song for the summer. But this is what they would rather promote. Young Miami. They'd rather promote again the kids jumping over the counter at Popeye's Chicken and jumping on
having a fight at Chipotle.
Having to fight anywhere they can fight. You know what I mean? I'm surprised. I'm sure we can find some church videos where they fighting at church as well. But anyway, this is the culture that they're promoting. And we must put a stop to it. We must continue to do what we're doing, making sure we have great content, showing the people that there's a will. If there's a will, there's a way. And we have to do it and uplift our guy, Jaylen Brown, the Jaylen Browns of the world, and anybody else who's doing great.
And the NDREs too. Those people.
Oh, no question about it. No, you know that goes without saying.
The Jaylen Browns. But I think, but Ralph, you must say this.
Okay.
So if we're going to sit here and talk about the fact that the white establishment has been, instrumental in not discussing this Jaylen Brown situation and his exploitation, we must talk about the fact that our own people haven't said anything.
No, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure they haven't said anything. Oh, gee, I got you. I'm gonna finish this up. So make sure y'all understand what you see is true on the screen live from Las Vegas. You got the sounds of Bellagio going off back there. But gee, you're right. Our people are not saying anything.
Of course
not. Again, I think this is the point. Everybody was supporting Young Miami recently at the awards. And as soon as Sister NDRE come out and say something to the contrary, they drug her as if she was a scammer. I'm thinking, what? But this is where we at, and nobody stood up, and you had a number of women, number of men, and just started, they doing the dance for the summer. If I catch a son of a gun that I know doing the dance, if I saw a big D of you doing the dance, brother, y'all ain't coming over my house no more. But just check out the days. Live from Las Vegas, we doing our thing, man. We checking out the Las Vegas Summer League. G, he back in the D, but I'm out on it's not the deck. It's
You're on the balcony.
On the balcony out here in Las Vegas. I wish I could move around and give y'all some more footage of what's going on, but just check out the scenes, man. It's beautiful out here, man. It's a great time to be out in Las Vegas. But anyway, G, go ahead because we got to get ready wrapping up, man. We got to get it wrapped up.
Well, I think again, this is kind of a microcosm of who we are as people. We continue to talk about some of the things that's going on, but we refuse to acknowledge the fact that, even a podcast such as ours.
Yeah.
I saw a couple brothers last night. It's crazy. I saw a couple brothers last night who pulled me to the side. Now we're in a festive setting, and some brothers pulled me to the side. And man, I need to talk to you. And each time it sounded like we had a problem about something, but they wanted to talk about the podcast. And none of these brothers, it was at least 4 of them, on separate occasions, had commented on the podcast before, anything like that. But they appreciated what we were doing, and they kept saying, "Man, you and Rav got to keep this thing going, man. They need to hear y'all. They need to hear y'all." My biggest problem is this: there's too many of us that need to hear us, but they refuse to listen. And as we're talking about this today, as we talked about, I think there should be a lot of people upset that this is even a thing. And unfortunately, this will continue to be a thing until something catastrophic happens, and then everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon and start talking about it. So, Black folks, man, let's pay attention. Let's do our own research. Let's create our own narratives, and I think we need to do a better job of illuminating the right people. We can't continue to watch all these crazy shows that they put on for us to watch and let our children watch them. Every show that we, suggest everybody watch is a whole bunch of killing, there's a whole bunch of drugs, there's a whole bunch of sex. That's it. And I think it is distorting the minds of our young people, and it's creating an atmosphere where the norm has become the abnormal, and the abnormal has become the norm. Raph, you close us out, man. Special edition Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening for me. Jaylen Brown, man, come on. The Black intelligent man, male athlete, America's worst nightmare.
Man, G, I sure appreciate that. America's worst nightmare has come to your living room, and you haven't even said a word to support him.
No.
You haven't even said a word to support him. I mean, what I'm talking about is the people of our community.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is in our community. He's one of us. ATL, listen to me. We should be talking about Jaylen Brown every single day. Every single time he does something in the community, somebody should be out there, podcast members, recording, talking about him, giving them all the encouragement to keep going, because we have too many other brothers in our community that are not doing such. But for Jaylen Brown, and for this narrative to be created about Jaylen Brown that is uncaused for, unprovoked, only reason that they're doing is because Jaylen Brown is a smart brother. And so I remember IBM, Intelligent Black Man. They used to say that with the Nation many, many years ago. And he's an intelligent Black man. And he doesn't boast about it, but he knows what he knows. To go to Cal, he had to be doing something right. And for you to label him the smart guy, he's too smart for his own good.
Too smart for his own good. Arrogance.
It's shameful. Arrogance. I want them to say that about me, G. Then just say, "Well, I'm the smart guy." Then you understand what I'm saying? Because for him to be doing what he's doing, G, is incredible. But to your point, our people, we're not supporting them enough. So I'm glad that we decided to do this show. I was sitting here. I said, "Man, G, I got G on the phone. Everybody, we must do the show about America's worst nightmare." And the worst nightmare is Jaylen Brown, intelligent Black man, doing what he's doing, no agent, speaking up, resourceful, doing things in the community, having impact in Roxbury, and talking about financial literacy for the young people of the community. And of course, just having that impact. This is part of his legacy, and they want his legacy tarnished. I tell y'all what, we're going to have to see y'all next time, because we're going to get out of here. We toasting. Man, you know, I got me a little Stella. I was supposed to have some champagne, but we ain't went downstairs to get no more. But, hey, I appreciate you, G. Appreciate the people tuning in. Make sure anything you find about Jaylen Brown, make sure you post it. Make sure you talk about him. Make sure you say, hey, Jaylen, we appreciate you, young brother. We appreciate what you're doing. So what you're seeing on the screen, people, is definitely live from Las Vegas, State Champions Podcast. We do what we do because we love you, and we're trying to make effective change in our community. At some point, they're going to come after me and G because they're going to say they're doing too much.
Yeah, we're doing too much.
They doing too much. Hey, G, I'm going to see you when I get back. I'll be back tomorrow, man. Peace, and we going to be out of here.
Peace out.
The champ is here. The champ is here.